I made a paint color palette for your home or your yoga studio. These 5 Benjamin Moore paint colors that I put together all create my Zen palette. This is a color scheme that reflects peace and calm, and these colors have a really direct connection with nature and meditation and intuition. I had a lot of fun putting these colors together because I do vibe with Buddhism a little bit. I just think that there's a lot there that resonates with me, and that's what I try to channel with all of these paint colors. So let's get into them. The first one is Bare Essence CSP 275. It's right over here, this color. This color is sort of a blank canvas type of approach to coloration, which is a great place to start here because you don't want a color that's going to distract you and prevent you from being enlightened. This color is just very much straightforward, and I love what Benjamin Moore says here. A classic wisp of color. This shade contains the barest essence of pink, which lends lightness and life. It's beautiful. It has a 62 LRV, which is actually the perfect LRV for a lot of people when you're talking about wall colors because it has a beautiful balance of lightness and darkness. It's not going to feel like an off-white or something that's way too bright and distracting, but it has some depth to it where it can really sink into the background and just exist. Great place to start, but these other colors are going to get a little more colorful, which I enjoy. Next up, we have Beacon Hill Damask HC-2, which is from the historical collections. This is a sunny, soft yellow with a hint of green. Brightness, vibrancy, just this aura of color that's radiating out. Really, really beautiful. It's also brighter than the last color, which normally is good in areas that don't have a ton of light. The only thing is, I prefer this color in those well-lit environments because it'll really start to accentuate those golden yellow undertones that are happening. And I think when this color is in darker rooms, that green aspect can become a bit dull, which pretty much goes against what this color has been chosen to do. This color represents the sun mixed with green nature. That's how I sort of see it here. Next up, we have Bonsai CC66. Color code aside, this color is beautiful. It's a deep, dark, mossy forest green. It also has this very slight hint of brown, kind of like a big, beautiful evergreen tree where you just see the bark peeking through a tiny bit, or I guess a bonsai tree as well, one that has a lot of leaves on it, little baby leaves. I feel like a Zen palette should have lighter colors in general, nothing too bright, but also nothing too dark and moody and dramatic. But if you are going to go dark, then I think dark green is as perfect as you can get. Next up is Metallic Gold. This color is the most different of the bunch. It is maybe the least neutral. I guess dark green isn't technically neutral, but this color sort of looks like copper, looks like rose gold. But why I picked it is I meant it to reflect a natural clay that exists in nature, some sand, that earthy color that isn't necessarily brown dominant. It's a little more red leaning, a little more terracotta. So it's also a color that has an alternative approach to warmth. So we're not leaning on gold and green. This one has a little more of that red, that bit of orange as well. To me, this color is evocative of golden hour. Maybe the sun is starting to set and those oranges start to appear and those bits of red and pink. This is a beautiful color, and to me it's an easier alternative to those much more orange dominant terracottas that are really popular right now. This one just feels soft enough where it can incorporate beautifully in a palette like this. And then my fifth color is kind of an obvious choice. This is actually the color that really inspired me to make a Zen palette. It's called Meditation from the Affinity color palette, and it does a nice job at combining some of the elements from the other colors. You have a bit of that gray, you also have some beige, some brown, some green as well. So everything is sort of being represented in one paint color. It also has a decent amount of depth, so it will create a little more of a cozy, closed-in sort of feeling rather than something that's overly bright like a white or even an off-white. This is the color that acts as the glue, the adhesive that really binds the other colors together, the connective tissue, if you will. And here is my Zen palette all together. Let me know what you think. And we also have a nature palette inspired by Loch Lomond, one of my favorite places in the world in Scotland, and it's right over here.